Hey, let me tell you about the Anchor app we use to make this podcast. It makes putting together a podcast so easy and way less stressful than we ever thought it would be. Let's start with the fact that it's free, not like here's a 7-day free trial. No, it's free, which is great for when you're balling on a budget. Anchor has creation tools that let you record and edit from your phone or your computer, whichever you choose. Oh, and Anchor will publish your podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and so many others. Did I mention that you can make money from your podcast using Anchor with minimal listenership? It's honestly everything you need for a podcast in one easy place. So download the free app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Welcome to episode 7 of our podcast, Excuse Me, Karen, where we relive moments that have scarred us for your entertainment.
So when we said we were going global, bitches, we really meant it because we now have listeners in Nigeria, New Zealand, Kenya, Ireland, Mexico, and India.
Oof, that's so many.
It is. But the majority of our listeners are in the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, and Indonesia.
Damn, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Right? We appreciate everyone.
Yeah, please subscribe and review.
Per usual.
We love hearing from you guys.
We really do. So you guys need to send us some stuff so we can reply to you.
Yeah, we already have, 4 or 5 reviews, and we have a 5-star rating on iTunes.
Ooh, look at us.
I know.
We doing it.
We're trying so hard, guys.
We really are.
So, Lauren, it's time for the bitchin' corner.
Ooh.
What do you have to bring?
So, what I'm bringing to the bitchin' corner this week is, I guess, mental health, but specifically being exhausted with anxiety and ADHD. Because, like, my brain is all fucking over the place, but not at the exact same time. And it's frustrating and really exhausting.
Yep, that was me the last 2 episodes.
We're switching spots now.
Yeah, kind of, but
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you bringing?
Well, let's start with the fact that I was busy at work today, and I'm working from home, so I'm sitting at my dining room table on a computer all day. And I look out the dining room window, and we have like this kind of like big bay window thing. And I just see 4 fucking pigs run past the fucking window.
Yes.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Now, most of you don't know, I live in the middle of nowhere on a kind of sort of farm.
A medium farm.
Yeah. And we do have pigs, and the wind was blowing so hard today, it blew open the door to in the barn for the pigs, and the pigs got out, and there's semis stopped in the middle of our street.
Wow.
Like a guy in a semi got out and was like chasing the pigs, and I'm like, oh my God.
So they was just having a free-for-all.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as bad as the one time they got out and went viral.
True.
Because they got out and they went to, what was it? Town Hall.
Yeah.
Which is down the road.
I remember this. This was like 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, and Town Hall has like that park next to it, and the pigs were like playing on the play sets, and they were at the Town Hall, and people were like taking pictures and posting them all over.
They were like, "Are these your pigs? Does anybody know whose pigs these are?"
Well, no, they were like they were there to send in a formal complaint, and
Yeah.
like all this shit. And I'm just like, oh my God.
That's funny
It's
though.
it's so embarrassing.
It is,
But
but your
like,
pigs are so cute though.
ugh.
They're
Okay.
so cute.
Well, their names are Bacon, Sausage, and Ham.
I
So
know. You just pissed off every vegan that listens to this podcast.
if it makes any vegan feel better, I do not eat them
That's fair.
because I know them by name.
Yeah, I would feel really bad too, I think.
I'm very much if I know it, I won't eat it. So I will get it from the store.
Right.
So we're gonna jump right into the tales now. And per the usual, we're starting with me.
Let's get it.
Today's Karen tale is that one time where all I wanted was to take my motherfucking break.
Oof.
Yeah. So I'm back. This is another pharmacy tale. And it is towards the end of my time at the pharmacy because I left not soon after the supervisor that was there left. So, you know how sometimes when you try to buy like Sudafed or any other decongestants, you have to have your ID?
Yeah, because crackheads.
Yeah, well, this is a crackhead tale.
Yes.
Well, the decongestives, what are they?
Decongestant.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
You can only buy so much a month because it's like federally regulated or something.
Okay.
At the pharmacy, we had regulars who we knew like actually needed them. My mom was one of those regulars. She still is. She needs it. She has like COPD and like really bad allergies, and it's a whole thing. She has to take them every month. There's other people that do it, but then you get the ones like the Randys, and they look like they've been on hard drugs for like a few years.
Yeah.
Well, one day, I was around 7 o'clock. I knew this because it was almost time for my break, and I was 1,000% ready for it. I remember I was working in the pharmacy with the pharmacy Karen, who to this day I cannot stand, and
Okay.
my favorite supervisor slash pharmacist, who, by the way, is salty at me because I gave her a shout out in one of the earlier episodes, and she called me the other day and was like, "Oh, thanks for the backhanded shout out calling me old," which I want to note that I did not call her old. I just said that she goes to bed at a reasonable time. But that's just because she's
Correct.
she's like a well-adjusted adult, not like a stereotypical like millennial adult where we
She
just,
like hella responsible.
yeah, like she's got like all her ducks in a row and whatever those sayings are, not all her
Got it
eggs
all
in.
figured out.
Yeah, while the rest of us are still trying to figure it out. She got
Right.
her shit together early. The rest of us, we suck. Sorry.
We struggling.
Yeah, we got issues. So
Right.
I do want to let her know that I was not calling her old. So to my old supervisor, I did not call you old. You are not old.
She
You're
called you
just,
responsible.
yeah, you are responsible and like got your shit together. But I still love you.
Facts.
Anyways, I'm counting down the minutes for for the one girl to come back from break so I can go. And all of a sudden, I got a fucking line. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Ew.
Right? So I'm like knocking this line out. Like, here's your pills, here's your pills, here's your pills. Have a great day. Don't OD. Whatever. Go.
Right.
And then I get this lady. And have you ever seen a meth head?
Absolutely.
Like, they don't, like, the ones that don't even bother to hide it anymore.
Yeah.
And like they're covered in scabs and they smell funny, not necessarily like dirty smelling, but like like they smell like chemicals.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I mean, they smell like, meth.
I've never done meth, so I don't know what that smells like.
I mean, me neither, but like you can just like tell, I guess. But yeah, okay, I know what you mean.
Okay. Well, this lady comes up. She smells like that. She looks like that. And she comes up and she's like, I want Sudafed. And in case anybody didn't know, apparently there's a chemical in Sudafed that is used to make meth.
And for the rest of this episode, we're gonna tell you how. I'm just kidding.
I do not know how. Somebody
Me
tried to
neither.
tell me once. I don't know. I think you have to watch Breaking Bad and they'll tell you, but I never watched that show.
I mean, they tell you like a little bit, but they don't tell you everything so that they can't get like sued and shit,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Because that show was my shit. My bad.
No, it's okay. I never watched that show. I tried to start it and I got like 3 episodes in.
Dog, me and my mom rewatched it at least like 3 or 4 times.
I got so bored.
What? You're just not into like the cartel shit?
No, because I fucking love Queen of the South.
Okay. I watched part of that.
I'm waiting. I don't know if they finished it yet. I'm waiting for it to all be done so I can binge it.
That's fair.
Because I was sick of waiting for episodes. So we're told to use our judgment when selling the decongestants. Because there's people that unfortunately do use it to buy drugs. So I asked this lady, I'm like, hey, I need your ID. And so she hands it to me and I open the tab on the computer to put her ID in. And while I'm waiting for it to load, I look at her ID and I'm like, what? This doesn't make any sense. I'm like, ma'am, did you give me the wrong ID? She's like, no. And I was like, okay, so we're going to say Carol Jackson. Are you Carol Jackson? Yeah. And I'm like, are you sure? And she's like, why the fuck are you asking me if I'm sure I know who I am? And I'm like, well, it's because you are white and like 120 pounds. And this ID is of a 300 plus pound African American woman. I am 10,000% sure this isn't you. And in the true Karen style, she gets all huffy and she's like, can you just put it in the system and give me my medicine?
Ew.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't. This ID clearly isn't yours, so I can't do that.
Right.
And she snatches the ID from me and leaves. And I'm like, okay, bitch, bye. So I help the next person in line and they come, they get their shit. The next person, I'm like, okay. Then I look over and like 3 aisles over was vitamins. And I see her standing there talking to another woman, looks very much like her. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay, so we're doing this today. So the lady she was talking to gets in line and I'm like, okay, we got this. Let's go. So she finally gets to the counter and I'm like, how can I help you? And she's like, I want to buy Sudafed. And I'm like, okay, can I please see some ID? And she digs in her pockets and pulls out an ID and hands it to me. And out of habit, I open the system. And while it's loading, I look at the ID. When I tell you I am laughing, I am laughing. I was like, I could not believe the audacity of this bitch. And I'm like, are you sure this is you? And she's like, yeah. Oh, so you're Carol Jackson? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, are you sure? Yeah, I know who the fuck I am. And I was like, are you sure? Because I had a lady come up here trying to use the same
Right.
exact ID. She goes, what? No one's used my ID. I've had it with me and no one touches it. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
again, are you sure? Because you are a 120-pound white woman and this is a 300 plus pound African American woman. The two are not the same.
Right.
She gets all huffy and says, I know where my shit is. And I'm like, well, you aren't Carol Jackson because you too are a skinny ass white woman.
Right. What the fuck? Like,
So
yeah, this is totally gonna work.
yeah, it's a complete different race. A complete, like, this woman had the woman on the ID, Carol Jackson had, it said she weighed 300 something pounds. She had brown hair, brown eyes, or black hair, brown eyes. And this woman had blonde hair, blue eyes, and weighed like 100 pounds. The two
Mm,
does not match.
not at all.
So she huffs, she snatches the ID and leaves. And I'm just laughing because I'm like, are these bitches for real?
The
Okay, like,
audacity.
yeah, I'm like, how does this lady know you have her ID? And like, I couldn't even keep it because they snatched it from my hand.
Mm.
So I turn and I tell my supervisor about it. I'm like, listen, these two ladies came and they both came with the same ID trying to get Sudafed. And she's like, okay, anybody else comes up for Sudafed in the next like half hour, let me know. She's like, we need to use our judgment. And if it's like shady, we're not selling it. And I was like, okay.
Right.
So I'm like still waiting for this bitch to come back from her break so I can take my break. Like, this has been the longest 15 minutes of my life. So we don't have anyone in line. I'm just trying to look busy so they don't pull me to go make me do something else. So I'm just like straightening the prescription bags and all this
Mm.
stuff. And then some janky looking dude comes up and I'm like, hi, how can I help you? I want Sudafed.
Bitch.
And I'm like, okay, can I please see your ID?
Don't even.
As much as I want to say it was Carol Jackson's ID,
Oh,
it was not.
damn it.
He actually gave me his ID, but the two ladies that came up with Carol Jackson's ID are standing like 3 aisles over in the vitamins watching.
So
Right?
smart.
So I turn around and I try to get my supervisor's attention. And she like we get eye contact, and I like point my eyes towards those girls watching us, and she sees it and she just like gives me the head shake, like, no, don't do it. And I'm like, okay, bitch,
Right.
I see you. I'm not
Like,
like.
thank you.
So I put all his stuff in the computer and I'm like, hey, unfortunately, I can't sell this to you today. And I hand him his ID back and he is pissed and is like, what the fuck? I don't know why won't it go through? I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's regulated. I don't have any say over it. And he's like, this dude, he's like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. I just bought some next door. And I'm like, bruh,
Then why would you need more?
yeah. I'm like, you probably hit your quota for the month. And he goes, I didn't buy any this month.
Yes. Did you say that?
I was like, you just said you bought it next door.
Mm.
Like, you can't buy more. And he's just standing there like bitching, like, fuck you, fuck this store. This is bullshit. Why can't I buy more? And I'm just like,
Oh, okay.
sorry. Like, what? Then my sweet, 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 pregnant as fuck supervisor goes, you can leave. We aren't going to sell it to
Yeah.
you.
Savage.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm going to the store manager. This is fucking dumb. You can't deny me. And she's like, okay, tell him. I already denied you. Like, we're done with this. So you can leave. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, you glorious fucking bitch. You tell him.
Right.
So he says, like, fuck you, and walks over to those two ladies, and they go off somewhere else. And I'm like, okay, bye. Are they going to tell on us? I don't know. And I turn to my supervisor and I'm like, I love you. Thank you. That was everything. And
Yeah.
I have no idea if they did go to management. I do know that she had a lot of complaints against her because she didn't take anyone's shit. She was just like, no.
Yeah. I mean, would you though? You know what I mean? Because
Oh, no. Do you know how many people I have denied? Like, most of my Karen and Chad and whatever stories are because I denied people stuff or like other things. We have a couple of those coming up about from the
okay.
pharmacy. Oh, and it's great. And after all of this, I think it lasted like 20-25 minutes. The one girl taking her fucking break finally comes back, and I get to take my break. And I was just like, are you kidding me? The only reason I even remembered this story was because I posted about it on Facebook, and it was on my memories the other day.
Hell yeah.
And I had complete like flashback, like, oh shit, I remember this. So
Yes.
I had to write it down. I was like, oh, thank you, Facebook memories, for
For
this
real.
moment.
Bless Facebook for once.
Yes, blessed be.
So, my tale this week is about a skate shop that I used to work for when I was like 20 and 21. And I know it sounds super dope and shit, but it was not that at all. Like, at all.
Mm.
Like, the owner was such a fucking creepy weirdo, but he talked in the very stereotypical surfer dude voice and slang, but he never lived anywhere outside of Michigan.
What?
Right.
Was it that one place?
Yeah. Oh, for sure it was. And
Ah,
so, like that should have been like the first huge red flag. But, I ignore those. So,
same.
with literally everything. But anyway, the main reason I got the job was not only because my old friend who worked there, she like put her 2 weeks in. So she was like, hey, yo, Lauren, come work here. And I was like, all right. And she's like, take my spot. So I was like, okay. And like, we're doing the interview. And he's like, do you know how to sew? And I'm like, yeah, I actually do. What a weird interview question for a skate shop. But yeah. And then he's like, do you know how to use a sewing machine? And I'm like, yeah, again, but like really weird and irrelevant for like a skate shop. And he was like, okay, you're hired,
What?
And I'm like,
Oh,
like,
okay.
right. Just like super confused. I'm like, all right, like, I thought he was going to be like, oh, what board do you ride? Because I used to skateboard and be like, oh, what's your favorite brand? And then no, it was just like, can you sew? Do you know how to use a sewing machine? Blah, 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 blah. Can you do that? It's like, yeah. All right, you're hired. It was just super like weird and like another huge red flag that I obviously ignored.
I am already sketched out.
Right.
And I don't even know what's happening yet. Because I completely forgot you worked here.
Yeah, right. Because it wasn't for long. I didn't stay there long. So I go in for my first day and he's having me look like online on like the work lab or not work laptop, but the work computer at like bathing suit designs from like skate brands and like he told me to like look at them like what they're made out of, like materials and like to look at the pictures and like examine the stitching that they had on them and like all this fucking weird shit, right? And so I'm like, all right, whatever. Like I like 20-year-old Lauren, high as hell, did not register this as like, hey, wait a minute. Like
This
maybe I
is
shouldn't do it.
sketchy.
Right. And so that's what I did like my whole first day. And then the next day I come in for my shift and he has like cut out like designs of like paper for me to start cutting for like materials and stuff
Oh, like
to that shape.
stencils?
Yeah. And I thought we were like maybe just like making his own brand of like bathing suits. Like, boy, was I fucking wrong, dude.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. He had me like cutting, sewing, stitching, and literally ripping off like Billabong, Roxy, Santa Cruz, and like a ton of other like bigger name skate brand swimsuits, and like just blatantly like stealing their design and like the patterns and everything. So basically, I was running the front of the shop, like the skate shop, and then the back of the shop, like a sweatshop, as a seamstress, sewing away.
What?
Right. And we hardly had any customers though because this dude fucking sucked and his prices were always way too fucking high for what he was selling. So me sewing this shit was like him saving money and like cutting costs and da da da. And the whole time I'm like, yo, dude, you know that this is super illegal, right? And he basically was like, I mean, like, is it really though if we're doing it with different patterns and like not the same materials? And I'm like, well, like, yeah, bro, you're still ironing on a vinyl patch of the name Billabong or whatever brand it is, like, we're ripping off. Like, and he just couldn't comprehend that it was like super illegal.
That totally reminds me of like those, you know, those boss babes that sell
Yes.
shit on Facebook that
Yeah.
do the vinyl. Some of them, like, okay, I like they'll take whatever, but there's like girls that will make like what is it called? Like the Victoria's Secret, like the pink pants,
Yes.
and then sell them for like the price of the pink pants. And it's
Yep.
pants that they bought like in bulk online for $20 and they're
I
selling.
know. And like I get it, it's a hustle, it's cheap, whatever, but it's like, dude, come
It's
on.
highly illegal.
Right? Like at least like let us know that they're fake. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'd be like, okay, you know what? I'll buy these fake Victoria's Secret leggings, but like for half the price and like let me know that they're fake,
Yeah.
you know? But whatever. So he just couldn't mentally comprehend this. So he was not the brightest of the bunch. And by that, I mean he had surfboards and surfing equipment for sale, like way overpriced in a state you don't normally surf in.
We're not near an ocean.
No. And like, I also get that some people do surf on the lake that we are by, but bro, that lake is fucking nasty and no one, like, the riptide doesn't even get,
Hold
you know what I
on.
mean? It doesn't even get that big.
We both live by different lakes.
Okay.
My lake is cleaner.
Right. Okay. The one by where the shop is
Okay.
not clean there. We'll say that.
Yeah, but even all the lakes around us, none of them have waves enough for you to like,
I mean,
I'm gonna buy a
sometimes,
surfboard.
like, sometimes they do get that big, but it's more on the other side of the state, you know?
Mm,
So it's like, do your shop over there then.
yeah.
So it's pretty much just like, ain't nobody fucking surfing in this shit ass lake, you know? Either
Mm.
way, like, this dude was like the dumbest of the dumbs. So after the bathing suit scandal, he had me try to do it with shirts and leggings. So I was just like, I'm not doing this. Like I put my foot down. Like because dog like I didn't like I really did work my ass off basically as a seamstress. And like I'm not even that fucking good. Like I know what I'm doing and how to work it and everything, but I'm no pro. Like me and my mom do it on our own clothes and stuff, but we don't like make clothing from scratch, you know?
Oh, no, I know. Remember when we made our own purses in high school?
Yeah, so it's like
And mine fell apart before the second hour, and I had to staple it.
Oh, I do remember that actually. That's pretty funny.
It was a sad, sad
But
day.
it was. So pretty much I told him like I wasn't going to do it anymore, and he got really upset and was like, "Well, like dude, you're like not being very chill mode right now, and like I don't appreciate it." So
Have
right?
you seen the movie Lords of Dogtown? It
Yes.
just
I love that movie so much.
same. Listen, same. It. Oh, I watched it when it first came out, and I'm too fat to skateboard, but I can admire it.
I mean, it is hard, but I love it. And I like longboarding too. But that'll be a different topic, I guess.
He reminds me of the one guy who like makes all the shirts and like makes the team or whatever. Do you?
Yeah, I remember. Pretty, yeah, that's kind of accurate, but like way more sketchy, I guess.
Ugh, I hate
So,
sketchy.
I know. So, like I told him I didn't want to do it, whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, then find someone else to do it because I'm not. Like, this is illegal and I just don't feel like doing it. And I would also like to add a side note to the story that I had like an like a really old iPhone at this time, and every day he would tell me that I was being tracked from it and that the electronic waves are messing with my brain and my organs. So, just so you know what type of dude he really is, like not smart at all.
This dude is probably out there wearing a foil hat.
Like 100%, just like in his office, like just being paranoid as fuck, probably. But like super chill about it, though.
Yeah, but he was panicking when that 5G came out, thinking.
Oh, fuck yeah. I wonder if he like burnt any down. He probably did.
Is that store still open?
Yes. And
How?
I don't fucking know how or why.
I distinctly remember when I used to pick you up when we would go to that record store?
Yeah.
I
That's also closed.
I know. I know. I just remember always going to pick you up, and then we would go there, and I would always pass it, and I'd always say the name of that place because I like the name
Yeah.
because it's
But
funny to
everything in
me.
there, it is really funny, but everything else about it is the worst.
Ugh.
But so my next job that he like had me do, okay, so he was like, all right, he pretty much was just like, all right, I won't have you, sewing, blah, 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 like ripping off shit, da, da, da. So I was like, all right, then I'll stay then. Like, I'll see what comes from this. So my next day on the job, he had me do like screen printing, like t-shirts and all that shit, which is tight, it's cool. So I did that for a while and doing like custom orders and shit.
Okay.
And then he started having me make copycat shirts from more skate brands, and I was just like pissed. So I just quit and I was like, I'm done with this. Like, fuck this. I'm not like making illegal shit. Like, just buy it at the fucking wholesale price and sell it for the regular price. Like, it's not that hard to run a fucking business. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so he like got pissed off and was like, well, you just don't know how it is. Da, da, we're struggling. I'm like, yeah, you're struggling because your fucking prices are like $700 for a fucking pair of snow boots. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and the fact that they're still open right now.
I literally don't know how. Like, I want to go up there just to see like what they're even doing, because it's not like it was like top shelf like skate brand stuff. It was like shit from like 6 years prior that he would be selling for top price shit. It's like, bro, no wonder you're not doing fucking good. No wonder in back here you're selling fucking fakes. You know what I mean? Like, fuck this guy.
I
Right?
I need you to like go in there and be like, see if he's there. If he is,
I'd be like, yo, do you remember me?
I worked here.
Right. And like the fucked up thing is like he didn't even give me a discount on anything. He would give me like $5 off and it would still be like $60. And I'm like, bitch, are you fucking joking right now? Like this place sucked.
Ew.
And it's still there and it like pisses me off because I really have no idea how or why.
You should definitely go in and be like, hey, are you still ripping other brands off? And then is there like, who do we call? The FDA? I don't know.
No, it would be like the Better Business Bureau, but like they never do anything, you know?
No, they do not. I've called them.
I know.
No, I haven't.
So, liar. I'm kidding. But so that's my story. And I guess like moral of the story is don't be such a scumbag business owner and rip off other people's designs that they probably worked really hard for and probably paid a bunch of money to get those designs when you get to buy them at fucking wholesale prices. Like, just buy them. And don't be like a shitty Kyle, Chad, bro business owner.
Why do I kind of really want to be a Karen right now and like call someone and be like, hello.
But this was so long ago. I mean, they're probably still doing it, but I guess I don't know.
If any of you that know where we are and know what
we're talking about,
tell us who to contact. Who would we?
Right.
Who do we should we contact? Should you contact? Let's start a petition. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. I don't know. And let us know if you go in there, because some people might actually know what place I'm talking about. Let us know if everything's fake.
Are they even like good knockoffs?
I mean, when I did them, they were. So, but I don't know about now or anything, you know?
Wait. You know how to make knockoffs now. Can you make me a Michael Kors?
Bitch, I don't know how to sell a fucking purse. Like a nice ass purse, you know what I mean? I can do clothes for sure, obviously.
Oh my god, yes. Okay. Guys, we're starting a side business. We're making Louis Vuitton.
All fakes. Any brand you want, let us know.
Hit us up. Lauren will be in my basement sewing them by hand.
By hand? Fuck that. I'll need a machine.
I mean, I have one. It was my grandma's before she died. It's sitting in my garage. I don't know how to use it.
I have my great aunt's old one, and it's in my basement right now.
Oh my god.
But also, me and my mom do have like a sewing room, so I'm not saying we're pros or anything, but like we're not horrible.
Make me something. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, what you want, girl?
Everything.
I know, I wish.
Wow. That was a very riveting tale.
Right.
Who is your Ball and Betty?
So my Ball and Betty, I'm gonna say me again, because I stood up to this dumbass non-stoner, non-surfer fucking business owner and told him how I wasn't gonna make illegal shit for him anymore.
Okay. I see.
So me. Who is your Ball and Betty from your tale?
It's gonna be my favorite supervisor ever.
Ooh.
This bitch, while pregnant, and like when she was pregnant, she like craved gravel.
Stop it. I remember this.
Yeah, but like she would eat I think I'm pretty sure it was gravel, and she would eat like Nerds and stuff and Laffy Taffy. And she always wanted my parents' calzones from their restaurant. So I would to this day she asks me for their calzones.
I mean, they are bomb.
I don't really like calzones, but I hear good things.
You are crazy.
We'll talk about it out of episode.
Fair.
But I'm over them. But while pregnant, she tells some drug user to pretty much fuck off, and she ain't doing shit. And she don't go fuck.
Hey.
So thank you to my favorite supervisor ever for being a badass bitch. So not only has she gotten a shout out, a second shout out, correcting the first shout out, but she also got dubbed the Ballin' Betty.
Hey. Look at her. She's on a fucking roll.
She the best.
And remember, people, in a world full of Karens, be a fucking Betty.
Hey. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and review. If you want us to read your Karen tales, send them to us. Our email is in our bio, or DM them to us. Lauren, give them those links.
So our Instagram is at excuse me Karen. Check it out, show us some love, send us the DMs, and thank you all for listening.
Bye.
Bye.